Hello? All right. All right, here we go. Oh, I'm on. Don't watch it though. Don't watch my stream because I'm a noob still setting it up. Alright. Hey, so I am very new to this, so don't judge me, but I am trying to stream right now. I'm going to be working on some music from the upcoming EP for hopefully about an hour. We'll see, but just trying this out. So, yeah, come watch if you want. The link is in my artist bio. I'll try to put it in on my bio as well. So, yeah, come check it out. Try to. Have we got anyone here? Not yet. That's good. That's good. Just double check that. Okay. All right. That's everything for now. All right, so now we're going to work. Let's see if anyone shows up. All right. Dearly Father, please help me with this music. I'm gonna do a good job, and yeah, help me out. In Jesus' name, amen. Alright, what do we got? Nothing right now. I gotta set this. Okay, anyway. What do I have here? Let's try to remember. So these ones. So I've got some EQ going here. All right. Start with this, I guess. Some random on here. Where is that? Okay. So we're getting a little bit of randomized volume modulation with this thing. So basically every hit is coming in at with a different loudness, so it can make it feel kind of more natural. Because my main problem with this right now is that it seems too repetitive. Without it. Yeah, it's easier to hear it with isolated like this, but here, even in the mix, if I turn it off for a minute and then turn it back on, it'll sound very kind of droning. So now then, let's reintroduce that hi-hat. It's not too bad, I just feel like it's a little bit... Oops. Just a little, what's the word? Just kind of abrasive, I guess, after a while. So maybe this will help. Let's see. This is going to be a subtle difference, if any, but... Oh, okay. Rip. So this is something that I've set up. Obviously you can see the name here, Easy Master. This basically just takes, put it on the master track here. So it basically takes all the tracks I'm working on and just pumps the volume up effectively. That's basically what I'm doing. Without getting too detailed, I'm like making quiet sounds louder and loud sounds quieter, and then when they're closer to each other, bringing that total level up as high as possible. But I forgot I had it on, and one of the side effects of that, of bringing it up that high, is it starts to get a little distorted sounding. So I was noticing that and just checked to see if it was on, and that's what it was. That's what was causing the distortion. So now it should sound a little bit cleaner, although it's quieter. So here, let me see what the difference is about. Okay, it's not too bad, but maybe I can boost it a little bit. Let's just put a utility on here and turn it up a little bit, because I want y'all to be able to hear it. I'm afraid I'll clip and I'll get the same distortion anyway. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm in the red there. I can't really boost it very much. So okay, I could check the stream, I guess. Yeah, let me just do that. I'm just gonna check the check the stream on my phone and see what the volume difference is like. So I'll just leave the music running here. So anyway, and then we can test out that that add some random plug in there and see how we're doing. Tangled earbuds, right? Okay. Make sure that you can actually still hear the music enough to tell what's going on. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. Alright, we'll roll with that. Okay. Anyway, so oh my gosh, table spaghetti. Okay, here we go. So that's fine. Back to, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit though for me. Back to the hi-hat here. So this may not seem like much of a difference, but at this point, it's kind of hard for me to figure out what else to do, because I'm still pretty new to mixing. I've done it for a long time, but being self-taught, there's just like so much that I don't know. So I'm kind of learning as I go along. And so it's not as efficient of a process as it could be, but anyway, I think it does sound better with the add some random on there. Turn it off again. Turn it on. Yeah, some are quite a bit louder than others, which again, it just gives it more of a natural feel, like someone's actually playing it. Not really like that, but that's kind of the idea. Yeah, I feel like that helped a lot. I might. I'm not sure what I'll do at this point. I don't think I can figure it out right now. I don't think I might want to move on to something else for at least for the stream, but I might want to like bring down the max a little bit. I feel like it gets a little bit too loud at some points. But also I'd gotten used to not having it in there because when we opened it up it was muted, that particular hat sample. So again, here's with it, and then here's without. So what I have here, maybe this, hope this isn't completely confusing, but we'll go through all my layers to kind of hopefully make more sense of this. So I've got a kick drum and a snare. And then the hats I've got, oh, okay, so this snare delay is it's like a version, it's like a copy of the snare track but with more delay and reverb, so that then I can have it at a lower volume, and so I can have a super washed out spacey, well I'll just show you. So this is the snare by itself. There's a little bit of reverb on that, which is giving it that, like it sounds like it's in a room. If I turn that off, it's very dry and close sounding, but with the reverb makes it sound like it's being played a little bit away from you in a room. Yeah, so this is like super reverbed, and it's got a delay on it as well. Yeah. What's this? Yeah, so it's got that delay, which is the kind of echo. It's going back and forth in the left and right channels, and so that's like a super processed version. And then I have that at a lower volume, so together you get that effect of the lots of reverb, lots of delay, but it's not too strong. It doesn't make the core sound of the snare too weak. Here's without, or here's the snare by itself, and here's with the delay on. So that's what that is. And then we've got our hats, and I've got a few layers actually here. This thing, the old school thing. So again, this is my kind of self-taught piecemeal knowledge coming to the fore here. So I may get stuff wrong or whatever, but the way I understand it, in drum and bass, a lot they will use samples of drums or drum breaks from other songs, sped up from classic songs, sped up. The most famous one is the Amen break. I don't think I have a sample of that here actually that I could identify. I think I have it somewhere, but I don't know how to find it. But so they take a drum pattern and then speed it up really fast to the tempo of drum and bass, and then use that in making their drum pattern. So I have a break here. I don't know what song it's from or anything, but I have this sample, and I filtered it just drastically here. So everything below everything below 8 kilohertz is completely cut off, and that might not mean anything to you right now, but I'll pull this filter back and you can see what I'm talking about. So here we go. So And if I turn this EQ off, I'll explain that later, but so that's the original sound. And I don't know what the original tempo for this would be, but let's just let's see if we can. Yeah, this is not. It's not at the original tempo. It's been sped up quite a bit. I don't know how to figure that out because this came in a pack of breaks for drum and bass, so they were already sped up. But anyway, so this is some sample from, or maybe someone might have even just recorded this sample for drum and bass and then sped it up. I don't know, but this is what I've got here, and the purpose behind that is to give it some of that kind of traditional feel of having a break beat in the beat, or a drum break within the drum pattern. I've ended up filtering it into oblivion here just because even cut off that drastically, I still feel like it adds just a little bit of flavor to it, and a little bit of that just kind of constant fast-paced pattern, because the drums that I have, like the kick and snare at least, are they're not super, they're kind of, they have a lot of change throughout them. They're pretty, I don't know, I want to say dynamic. They just, the pattern changes a lot, and on a lot of tracks you'll find that not to be the case, some more than others, and that does not make mine better in any sense, but in fact, a lot of my favorite tracks have like very repetitive drum patterns. But let me see, let me find something here. Maybe this one? Oh, this one for sure. This one has, I think, basically just like the same pattern the whole song. It's like one pretty simple pattern. It's kind of a similar thing here too. You can hear, I mean, I don't know, I've listened to a lot of this stuff, so it makes sense to me, but you can hear processed drums, and then you can hear a break back behind them, and it's filtered too on this song. So anyway, so again with mine, I've got my main kick and my main snare, and then I've got this break, and I actually edited it. I went in and chopped it up to match the same pattern as my drums, so I took the kicks and moved them around and everything, so it's technically all in sync with mine. I think it should be. Let me check that again. Yeah. So if I turn mine on again, that's what it sounds like all together. And then if I filter it out again, yeah. So it's just this very faint background to it. And you can kind of hear that in this one. The kick and the snare are really punchy and present, and then that break in the background sounds kind of filtered out. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm going for here, and so that's what that is. And then I've got some more kind of natural sounding hats here, and that's what these are. And then this is just some extra stuff. Some sound effects. There's actually kind of a cool story behind this one too, but I may or may not get to that. Anyway, is anyone actually watching this? I don't think anyone's actually watching this. But anyway, let's see. So, all of that being said, what was I getting to? What was my point? So that's all the layers I have, and then at this point I'm trying to decide whether or not I want this particular sample in here. Oh yeah, right. So I was getting to this layer to show what it's adding. So I've got that one playing And then this one, just sprinkling a little salt in there once in a while. Spicing it up a little bit. And that's one that I want to work on in a minute and get that kind of just enhanced a little bit. Anyway, so, and that's what I've been listening to for a while now. I've had this one muted for a while. So that's the drums that I've gotten used to. But just now, as I'm doing this stream here, I've been listening to this and kind of liking it. Again, obviously I didn't like it because I muted it a while ago, but I kind of like it. But we'll see. We'll see what I end up favoring. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's a little bit too busy with that one. Oh man, I'm not sure. I'll decide on that later. I'll leave it muted for now. So anyway. Okay, I had to listen for a second to find it, but this is what I want to bring out. Yeah, so I want to bring that forward a little bit. You can actually, I mean, you can hear it, but it's not as loud as I want it to be. I also want to probably process a little bit more or refine the processing on it. So let's do that. I'm just gonna solo it for a bit and see what I've got. So this is an EQ. What that is it's a tool for shaping the sound from its basic form into something that's more suited to what you're trying to do. And you can do that in subtle ways or really drastic ways. Like I'll turn this one off and I'll bring in a new one. Just give an example here. Not like that. I don't want to replace it. Hello? There we go. So, for example, okay, yeah. So you can take one of these. I forget what these are called now. One of these bands, I guess. And you can boost or cut within a certain frequency range. And you can change how wide that range is with the Q here. So you can just boost something very narrow, which I'll show you what that sounds like. All right, let's put this at 0 for this, and I'll move it back later. Yeah, so here, if I boost this really specific frequency range here, you can almost hear like a little musical tone. So anyway, and then if I make it wider, so anyway, you can boost or cut specific frequencies. You can change how wide the band is, and there's different kinds of bands that you can have. But anyway, so you can end up with something that sounds completely different, or you could just kind of bring out the stuff that you like and cut out the stuff you don't like in a subtle way. And that's mostly what I've done here. Very subtle. Just boost it a little bit down here, the kind of deeper click side of it, and then cut out this kind of boxy sounding part there. I think it sounds pretty good. I don't know what exactly I would do with EQ further than that. Maybe cut out a little bit more so it's even crispier. Let's see. Yeah, that's nice. Cuts out a little bit more of the noise in the middle. That's, I don't even know if I can actually hear a difference there. Very, very, very subtly. I think it's okay though. I think it's pretty good. Boost that again, bring up even more of the high end. Let's see how that sounds. Well, this is way louder now. Let's turn that back down. Wow, I think that's already sounding better actually. It has gained a little bit of volume from the boosting, but I think it also sounds better. It's not just louder. It's the parts that I like about it are being accentuated, so that's good. I want it to just be that kind of like that sizzly sound that really cuts through and accentuates those parts of the beat there. So wait, hold on though. Oh, am I an idiot? I think I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's, yep, I'm an idiot. Okay, so I just was EQing the whole track there. Let's take that and put it on the specific sound I was trying to put it on. And let's see how that sounds here. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think it might be a little bit too loud now. If at all, it's barely, but. Okay. I'm gonna try a little bit of compression here. This is another thing that I have really spotty knowledge on, but I'm going to try to I think what I'd like to do is bring the tail up a bit more. So right now it's kind of going and falling off really quickly. You got that attack and then it just falls off pretty fast. So let's do it by itself again. Yeah, it's like falls off really quick. So I want to try to extend that lighter part out longer. So I'll try to do that with a compressor, which I know I can do, but I don't know how exactly. Let's see. Yes, it's a little better actually. I'm making it louder with this compressor, which is not the goal. So I need to get that gain down. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, I think that's actually better. Again, this is another really, really subtle thing. And I don't actually know if this level of detail is even really worth it. Maybe I should just get this song finished. But yeah, I think that is better. I think it does sound better. Let me try unmuting this again. Turn this up a little. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Don't like this though. Not yet. Not convinced on that one yet. So I'd like this to have, again, this specific sound right here, this one, to have a little bit more reverb. This is another area in which my expertise falls down. There's a lot of those. I've got a lot of other things with a lot of reverb on them, like this reverse piano lead thing. Where are you? Up here. Well, it's that one's got a lot of reverb on it. Stuff like that. There's a lot of layers that already have a bunch of reverb on it, and it seems that if that happens, you can, at a certain point, adding reverb to elements does not really make them, the reverb that you add just gets lost in all the other reverb, and then it just ends up making the sound quieter, which is not what I want. Let's see though. Let's see if I can do this here. All right, let's hear what this sounds like. It's getting complicated here. Not really that complicated, but it's just too much to see at once. All right. All right, I need to solo this. See what we're working with. Yeah, okay, so look, if I have this all the way off, okay, if I turn it up, it gets quieter. And it sounds really far away. I'm gonna bring this in so I can boost the volume again after turning that up, so we can still hear it. Yeah, so this sounds like it's far away in a big room now. It's not exactly what I wanted, I like a little bit of that. And so this right here, you can kind of filter, like the filter that we talked about earlier. You can filter what part of the sound that's coming into the reverb. You can filter the sound that's coming into the reverb. So effectively, like, yes, this doesn't get rid of anything from the sound itself. It just gets rid of what is processed by the reverb. I think that doesn't really make sense. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So this is only for the reverb. It's like a filter for the reverb. So what part of the signal is getting the reverb? And I would like it to have reverb on the high end because I'm trying to emphasize the sparkliness of it, for lack of a better word here. Yeah. So I just got to find the right balance now of that. It's only a little bit quieter, so see that by itself. I do like that, how it sounds by itself. Let's see how it sounds with everything else. Yeah, so I like what that's adding. I like the general direction anyway. So yeah, let's see. So let's see what we've added so far. Let's see what the difference is. Here. And then after. It's definitely louder. That's not the only thing going on either. Yeah, I do like that better. I might do a little bit more EQ on that just to get it perfect. Yeah, I like that, so I'll boost it. Let's find something I don't like. Should like that too. I'm gonna bring up the high end a little bit here. Very high end. That's not it. Yeah, we like that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's... Let me bring this down over here. This may be stupid. I may be able to just do this here and not have to do another one. But this is like practically superstitious at this point. Yeah, if anything, I'll turn it down a little bit after this. That's one thing with mixing, at least for me, is like listening to one specific thing. You lose the whole song or your context, so it's easy to get so focused that then when you listen to the song as a whole, that's all you hear is that one little part. So it's not. So I'll come back and check on that later. But I do think that we've made it better. When I was thinking about doing a stream and therefore doing it in front of people, potentially, maybe not as it turns out, but it made me start thinking more critically about the process and like what actually needs to be done. And at this point, it's like maybe not as much as I thought here. But so I'm trying to think of what to do next. There are a few things I know I want to do. For example, the intro here. This is more of an arrangement thing, but I want to change it. Oh yeah. So I did make a bit of a change here. Before there was no bass at this part. So let's see. Just get rid of all this, and this is what it used to be. I'll turn on the master for this, the easy master.
I'm afraid this just isn't working. There have been some good moments, but it won't last. Communications will be the next to go. I'm already losing signal. Soon, I won't be able to hear you at all. If you get through this, I'll see you on the other side.
So okay, that's what the intro is at this point, but I've been kind of second guessing it. I feel like maybe bass should come in earlier. And I'm not sure how I like this part right here where the bass starts coming in.
Losing signal.
Just bum, bum, just coming in one hit at a time, and then bleeding into the kind of legato bass. I feel like it could be a bit more smooth. I feel like it's like a long time before any low end stuff comes in, and maybe it's too long, but so that's something. Again, though, I don't think that's really good for doing live, because that's just some thinking I'm gonna have to do. But that's something else I'm working on. I do need to go through like a basic mix checklist. Oh yeah, I got some nerdy stuff going on. Let's see if we can find that though. Let's get like I had one of these before pulled up that I was using as a reference here. Check levels, check mono, check each track for for problems. Okay, you check your music arrangement. Yeah, so I could go through something like this. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what to do now. Because, I don't know, it's different just even thinking about people watching it than doing this by myself, so I notice different things. And what I'm noticing now is that the song is getting on towards good enough here. One nitpicky thing is I want the snare to be a little bit punchier. So let's see. That may just be a sample issue. Yeah, I don't really have anything super beefy on that. That's kind of the idea with the snare that I'm going for. It sounds almost like more like a rim shot. It's like a clicky kind of snare, which is what I want, but I feel like still I could go with a little bit more. Just a little bit of punch. So let's see if I can find something. Actually, let me check my favorites real quick. I do have some that I've saved as like my favorite samples. So let's see. Although actually, I don't know if I have that folder anymore. No, it's not there. I've moved my stuff around on different computers and wiped hard drive and restarted and stuff. So with my current setup of files, I don't know if I have the same favorite folders anymore. So I don't know. Let's just see. And I have a lot of snare samples, so I'm not gonna go through everything. Let me try to remember what some of my favorites are. This is one I've used several times. Stitcha, I think. Stitcha. Oh, I'll type in snare for that one. Let me see if I can find this. Like Stitcha snare finished, I think is what it's called. QRS. Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe I don't have that one. Dang. Pretty sure I had that, but you know what? Let me Google that real quick. Oh, here. Let's see. Yeah, come on, bruh. Come on. There we go. Okay, never mind. We're getting way off into the weeds here. You know what? Forget this. I'm just gonna look at what I already have, and I may not even end up doing this. So let's just see what I have here. Possibly. I'll just mute the ones that are looking good. I don't like that because it's got this kind of shaky sound in it. Let's see. Yeah, wow, a lot of these are not very punchy because that's the sound I was going for, but let's see what I can get out of this here. So what I gotta do is I gotta put that in first. No, come here. Okay, so snare, fat mat, break. Okay, so let's find that. And then I'll go in the clip and I'll just copy the pattern and move it down to fat mat. Where is that? Fat mat break up here. Okay, so by itself, just adding that sample is not the effect I'm going for, but let me see if I can EQ it a bit here and get what I want from it. So I don't want any of the higher stuff. I got that covered. Don't want it too low either. Let's go back to this view here. Turn it down a little bit. Oh, it's right there. I was selected already. Come on. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so I don't think I actually need another sound in there. I think I've gone through this a couple of times with this song, like thinking the snare needs to be a bit beefier and then changing my mind on it. This is part of why it takes me so long, is I just spend too much time on these little nitpicky decisions, but try a little bit of compression here. And again, there's a lot for me to learn still about compression, but I will try to make something work here. Okay, this is too loud, so let me see. It's coming in hot. Which you can see here is probably small depending on where you're watching this, but it's small for me too. It's as it's coming into the compressor here, you can see over the side, it's almost clipping over. It's almost clipping, so I'm just gonna bring everything down on the other side of it. Or I could do that. Yeah, see, it's coming out of here almost too hot. So let's find the samples that are being used and select them. Oh, there it is, and then, okay. So that's it. So now we've got all these, and I'll bring them down like 6 dB. Yes. Oh, it didn't do it. All right, so I just need to find them. This one comes down 6. Thought I could do them all at once there, but it's not working, so let's see. That's down 6, that's down 6, and then Yeah, okay, so I brought the volume down on all those, and now it's not coming in too hot over here. Then I need to make that up. Put this back up to 0. It's almost there. All right, so now let's work with the compression here. Okay, so it seems like if I keep a short attack time, it kind of shortens the sound. It's just like, and it cuts off really quick, and I don't want that. If I stretch it out with the attack time, give a longer attack time. It seems to make the whole sound louder. But that is good. That I do like the way that sounds. Yeah. Again, this is so subtle. But it's better. I do like that. Okay, so it's like it's bringing up the very end of the sample. Actually, so the sample I'm talking about is actually a few samples together, and it's working on all of them. But this one sample in particular, you gotta find the right one here. Let me see. Yeah, this one. If you listen carefully here, I'll turn this thing on again, boost the volume a bit. There's the snare, and then there's this little, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but or what it is, but at the end there, it's like there's this little click at the end. And there's also there's the snare hit, and there's the tail of the snares. It fades off very quickly. So there's the sound of the hit, and then the decay of the reverb, and then there's that little click at the end. And so the compressor is like bringing up that tail a little bit, not a whole lot, but it's bringing it up a little bit. Here, let's see. And specifically on this sample. All the other samples that I'm stacking here are pretty short anyway. Let's find them. Oh, I'm doing them all again. Hold on. Wait, what? I was soloing the wrong one. Okay, come on. What do we got here? Wait. Help me. I was in the wrong track. Okay. That's what's going on. All right, I'm back. It was solo this whole time. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, the other ones we've got are this one, which I want to be short, and then we've got this one. Again, I don't mind that one being short. But even so, the compression adding to those is helpful too. But I'm more concerned with what it's doing on this sample. So that's without. And here's turn the compressor back on. Yeah, and so again, this is really subtle, but just listen to listen for that little click at the end, a little right at the end. It's and with the compressor turned off, the first sound kind of the volume kind of slopes down really fast, and then you hear that click. But with the compressor turned on, it feels like the sound extends right into the click without getting quieter. It just kind of brings up that middle section where it would fall down before. So, and it's a subtle, but that's what's going on. So let's see if we can hear that. And then here's with. The part before the click overall is louder throughout its duration, with the compressor turned on. Again, subtle, and it's working on the other ones too. I think more than I give it credit for. Yeah, it's subtle, but like it sounds kind of weak at the end, right at the end of the sound with the compressor off. It's like, and now with the compressor on, it's like, until it cuts off. So there's no wimping out there at the end. So that's good, and I think that's actually. I don't want that solo, and I gotta turn this. It's probably fine for you guys, but it might be too loud for me. But it is too loud for me. It might be too loud for me. I don't know. Oh, actually, I'm gonna turn this off. This is good for volume, but that's about it. It's not actually good sound. So. Yeah, great. So that's actually exactly what I was looking for, I think. Praise the Lord. Wow. So yeah, I'm kind of running out of excuses here. This is getting towards done. I need to start going through that checklist probably. Let me think. I'm gonna listen to it again just a little bit and see if there's anything else that sticks out at me as something that I've wanted to work on that I haven't. No, I think this is getting pretty dang close. There are some problems that I can hear with it. Some levels need to be adjusted, so some things are too loud or too quiet. Panning, I want to work on panning a little bit. I feel like the song right now is too much on the right side, specifically because of this this hat that we worked on earlier. Oh no, all these hats. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, so this whole track is panned hard to the right. Oh, all the hats. So all the hat tracks are, well, no, okay, no. This one's on the left. So that's on this side, and these are on that side. I just feel like it's a little bit right heavy. It's a little bit too much over here, so I want to balance that out. And there may be some fine tuning kind of EQ to do. So things that are muddy or sounds that are kind of crashing into each other. Like for example, I have these string kind of pad elements here. Like this. And that's just kind of like a big atmospheric blanket sound, and sometimes it can kind of cover up other sounds that I want to punch through. So I would go through those and find places to kind of cut them a little bit with the EQ. So like here, I'll show you a little bit. Yeah. So I'd find where, I'm not very good at explaining this, but I would find something, I would just listen for different parts of the song. You'd probably drums and lead things mostly, like melody playing instruments. So like the reverse piano, which is where again? Yeah, this thing. And some drums. And I would go through and try to find out where those are clashing. Like, let's see if I can do this real quick. So let's check out the snare. Pull up a spectrum here, spectrum analyzer, and see what this snare is doing. Looks like it's, the peak is right at 351 hertz. You can see down here, this little box in the corner tells you where you're at. I'll bring it up here. So we've got a lot going on here, around 340, 350, and then again at 1K. But this is probably where most of the punch is. Let's see, 350-ish. That's where a lot of our sound is. And that's also because of, I think that's fairly uncommon as far as snares go. Usually you'd get it a bit lower, but this is kind of a snappy rim shot type snare, so it's up higher a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, see, so if I boost that, what I saw to be the kind of peak range, you hear the main body of the snare being boosted. So the main body of the weight of the snare is all down there in the 345. So we want that. Well, let's see. So we want that, and then we want also, let's see, check 1K. Yeah, that's a good sound. That's an important part of the snare. So we've got the beef of it here. We've got that. I don't know how to describe this. The more cutting part of it right here, and then we've got some sizzly stuff up there. I'm not too worried about the sizzly stuff though. I think in general I'll probably just bring down the pad a bit in the upper middle. But anyway, so specifically for this snare, we know that we want 340, 350, and about 1K to be shining through. So let's take the pad then, find a good spot, and see what we can do with this. See if we can hear a difference here. So let's start with this one, number 2 here, and go straight to 345. And you can hear it when I boost it. Just listen to the snare, and you can see how it starts to lose its punch because this is competing with it. And obviously I'm not going to be doing that, so we don't have to worry about it. But if we cut it a little bit, it can help the snare punch through a little bit more. So let's see. Potentially, it could do that. Let's move this around a little bit. I'm gonna really cut and move it around to try to find where I feel like it helps the snare, and then we'll make it a bit more subtle. Okay, it's more like 300. Yeah, okay, so I feel like it sounds the best right at about 300. So now we're just going to bring it down a little bit, not all that much. This is very subtle. But anyway, okay, 3 is right at 1K, so let's try that. Okay, that makes a big difference. That I can really hear. I can hear the other one, but it's not as dramatic. Yeah, really hearing the snare more when I have that on. So I'm gonna not do too much. I'm gonna make it a little narrower. But yeah, man, this stuff is so cool. I mean, I don't know if this is the same for everybody, but I can really hear the snare pop out a bit more when I have this turned on in the full mix, which is great because there's so much stuff going on that anywhere you make a little bit of room, it makes a big difference. So, guys, I'll play with it off for a second and then I'll turn it on. And listen to the snare. Let's do that again. Off. On. Off. On. Yeah, I'm using the word subtle like way too much, but it is subtle, and at the same time, it really adds a lot. So I'm gonna try putting it on here too and see. This is kind of similar to the thing I talked about earlier with how I have one track that's the snare, and then one track that is the snare with more reverb and some delay. So that I can have the original snare sound with not much of that at all on it. Because in my experience, if I just put those effects onto the snare itself, and most of the effects in these kinds of programs have some kind of dry wet knob like this, meaning you can control how much of the signal. Okay, so it splits the signal into dry, unaffected, and wet, affected signal, and then you mix how much you're hearing of which one. So if you have it 32% wet, that means 32% of the signal is processed, but it's dividing the signal up. So for me, if I understand it correctly, so for me, I like better to have another track sometimes with the dry wet way up, so it's super washed out, and then just change the volume of it in the mixer. So change the track volume, and if I keep it low enough, well, like here, this is both of them together. This is the original snare. This is the reverb snare. And this is them together. So if I bring the volume down further, so you can set how subtle or how you can set how much you want to have that effect on the snare, which you can with the dry wet knob, but in my experience, it weakens the sound. Like having those same effects on the actual snare at a low level, it just feels like less control to me, and it feels like it makes the sound weaker because it's dividing that track into the wet and dry, and then you're mixing those to what you want. I don't know how to explain this exactly, or if I'm even getting it right, but I just like it better. So anyway, that being said, that's what's going on down here with the pads. I've got one that's it's got some reverb on it, but then this one has a lot of reverb on it. And the decay time is really high. So that basically just, yeah, that's how long the reverb lasts, and this one is just like as high as it goes. So, and it's similar situation there where one is much lower than the other, but so I've got that balance of the original sound and the super washed out one. But that's just like an atmospheric pad there, and oh my gosh, I completely lost my train of thought. I feel really stupid now, but where was I going with this? Anyway, let's see how it sounds if I put that on there too. Let me see. Yeah, I had a point, but not anymore. Need to stay more focused, I guess. Oh wow, yeah. I feel like even more so, the difference is bigger with on the washed out, the wet pad. Like when I turn that on, the snare comes out even more. I think that's like an even bigger difference. I'm just gonna go ahead and rename this so I know what it is later. Probably won't forget because it's the only thing on there, but Yeah. So that's good. That's a good change. So anyway, some stuff like that, I still have to do. Tweak the levels, tweak the panning, and then go through some checklists like this one and just see what, look for some advice on what to do. Just looking for major problems that might be easy to forget to look for. So yeah, this is closer than I thought, really. So anyway, I've got this one, and then I've got Take Me Home, and this is Letting Go. I've got Take Me Home and Leaving to work on. If I recall correctly, Leaving is pretty much good. Yeah, that one's pretty good. I'll probably change a little bit, but that one's pretty much done. Take Me Home, I'm still working on vocals, so I need to just get more good recordings, get some better takes, and then I can really crack down on the mixing on that one. I feel like that one's the least done. This one's getting pretty close, so I made some really good progress tonight. Those that snare in the hat, like, again, seemed like a minor change, but it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I just haven't gotten around to. Kind of helps me to clear my head to imagine that I'm talking to people. Maybe I am. I can't really tell. YouTube isn't letting me know. But what it is showing, if it's true, no one's watching this right now. So, or at least all I know for sure is concurrent viewers, and concurrent viewers is 1, so that means that even if 100 people watch this, it was only 1 at a time, and I doubt that happened. But anyway, doing this even as if in front of people helps me clear up my thought process, and that should say something about my thought process. If it's this cluttered when I think it's being cleared up by talking to people, then yeah, imagine this but worse. Anyway, so got a lot to do, but not as much as I thought, and this has been actually really helpful. So if anyone is watching this, I hope that you have enjoyed it. I think I'm probably gonna end pretty soon. I know it sounds like it does. Sounds like I'm wrapping it up, but yeah, this has been really cool, and I want to do this more and get better at promoting it, better at actually doing it, better at doing this, because this is neat, and I would love for people to experience this with me. So yeah, we'll see. I think that's good for now. If you have been watching, if you are watching, thank you. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I'll try this again sometime soon. That's it for now. Jesus loves you.